We continue through the second Korean server qualifier for the next 2021 winter with a qualifying match, I believe, actually. This best of 3 sends one player into the main tournament, while the other will be down into the lower brackets. So there will be a lower bracket match as well. So they're not out if they lose this, but obviously they will have some more games to play while the winner is qualified. Bottom right is Rogue, and the bottom left is Maru, who we just casted a little bit of as well in the last match. Of course, if this is on YouTube as well, which it will be because I think these are all good games, then do consider hitting the like button on the video and the subscribe button on the channel. Helps us out a whole bunch. Really goes a long way. So that's youtube.com/WardiTV if you're watching already there. No, I just did the Twitch chat version of YouTube. Ah! Okay, well, you guys know the drill. Like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. We're trying to get... I mean, I really did want to get 40,000 YouTube subs this year, but that's probably not going to happen. But maybe we can change that to 50,000 by the end of next year, and maybe we can see from there. So yeah, check it out, youtube.com/... Oh, no, Burger, I'm in my Twitch brain. Oh god, okay, my brain's messed up. I just cast StarCraft instead. Attach gas and pool against a barracks opener. My goodness, I was all over the place there. Twice in a row. Where is my brain today, huh, guys? It's been a little while since I really had to, do shoutouts and stuff in general, so maybe my brain's just really is a little bit like, what's going on? Definitely a possibility as we get rolling. And see what's going to happen. It's going to be a reactive first from Maru. So the idea of what he's done here is he doesn't build the barracks at the front. So if this Overlord checks the main base, he will not see a barracks or anything. He will not see an add-on. He doesn't necessarily know the setup. And then it could be a proxy, and if he wants to go check the natural, then he's out of position, and maybe the 2 Marines of the reactor can kill the Overlord. The Rogue is just going to sit back anyway. He's like, you know what, okay, I don't have early game information, but I'd rather make sure this Overlord is, alive just in case Maru does something tricky, exactly like what he is doing. So, yeah, I like that a lot, as we get our 3rd hatchery ready to build here from Rogue as well. He keeps one Overlord just out the front just in case an SCV or a Marine shows up, so he has good pre-warning about a potential proxy Rax attack actually developing, and then going from there. So it really is just like a very I'm going to cover all my bases, I'm going to be safe in case you go Overlord hunting with Marines, I'm going to be safe in case you proxy me. Rogue is just not really letting any openings stick around. Just wants to try and keep everything as well under control as possible as Zergling Speed will start. It looks as though we don't have game hard on for this game, guys. Sometimes when the Koreans host games in the Korean server, during qualifiers and stuff, obviously, the players are hosting the games a lot. Sometimes they forget to host the game with game hard, and so looks like that might be the case here. So no workers killed on the side of the screen and stuff, so I'll do my best to try and keep you guys up to date with those numbers, but just apologies for that. That's something I can't necessarily change. Hopefully they fix it for a second map or so. Further down the line, but for this first map, definitely seems like it's turned off, because obviously usually you see kind of the icon of what is morphing out of eggs and stuff, or building off of a barracks too, so yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Single Zergling gets killed, I believe, just trying to make its way into the main base for info. Sees the Hellions. I mean, not too bad, right? You see the starport, you know that this is going to be double gas and not a 3cc, so that's already pretty good information for Rogue here. And yeah, just going to see those few Hellions starting to move out into the center of the map. So away they go out across to the far right-hand side. A couple of Widow Mines continuing up from Maru. The Medevac still on the way in as well. It's going to be finishing. And this Tech Lab continuing to build on this barracks also as our Marines lift up. And yeah, Hellions chased up. They get the Zergling kill. And now the Medevac of Maru starts to boost through the bottom side of the map. 7 Marines inside, ready to get across and to perhaps deal some damage. Now the Hellions zap the 3rd, but not many drones there just yet, so well protected. And let's see what the drop does. Double Queen. Maru just says, not worth my time. He drops an armory. Wow. That's a bit of a later armory here, in all honesty. That's going to be for cloaked Widow Mines, so that's going to be his plan with this. He will come back and clean out this Overlord that was being here since the early stage of the game, so gets rid of that pretty quickly at least, so that is going to go down. Yeah, Marines and Hellions will just join up together into the center of the map. So into the middle of the map we go. It's going to be joining up. Into the top right we'll probably head, as we've got an Overlord that's chilling out over there. Just seeing our Stim Pack coming through. The Liberator's making its way through the bottom side. And these few queens are going to come up the ramp to try and chase the Hellion Marine away. And Hellion's getting set to go, morphing into Hellbats. I mean, feels like a fairly late Hellbat attack. Medevac isn't here either. Medevac was trying to drop in the main, but the queens deflect that, so no Hellbats in the main base at the same time. And Maru not doing much right away. He will not get this Overlord. Good transfusion as well. Obviously, you spend a lot of time attacking it before the transfuse goes down, and like, oh, I'm not going to get that kill. Liberator sieges up somewhere. It's in the natural, but Rogue has only lost one drone that's finished morphing. Otherwise, he's moved his units away. It's the Widowmine drop in the main. Sorry, I thought that was a Hellbat drop, but I am incorrect. I forgot about the fact we had all those Widowmines building, but they haven't really connected so far. So good defense from Rogue. This Widowmine burrows. The drones are already pulling away from it. One more drone goes down, but that will be all. And that is that for the moment. He has these Hellbats and Marines will come back through. A Queen taking a little bit more damage. Libera tries to siege up elsewhere now, and we'll actually get a drone, and then the Queen will go down as well. So that's actually pretty bad, losing the Queen. He tried to target fire the low HP Queen for a second faster kill. Doesn't quite get there, though. And that is, for the moment, going to be the cleanup as some Marines and Hellbats come back around over to the left-hand side. Maru falling back to the left. Melee upgrades continuing through from Rogue as the 1-1 starts from Maru. All said and done, resources lost favors Rogue, so he's actually traded well so far. His defense has been good. Can't be too upset about the defense, and yeah, with Maru committing a lot to trying to deal damage as well, this is generally going to be a great setup for Rogue. So exactly what he wants is Maru finds a few Lings, obviously just trying to clear out these rocks and open up the pathway towards that gold base, or between the gold base and the other bases a little bit. Just trying to make life a little bit easier there. As our Hellions come back around the top side, the Lings go out around the south, and we wait to see what will happen next. Again, 1-1 upgrades, combat shield, all of this continuing through from Maru. Our Ling is going to go out around the left-hand side, and those Hellions still just coming and sneaking through the bottom corner. Not sure where that first scan was. Is it to the top? Is it in the main? Oh, it's in the natural. So he's trying to get an idea of the tech that's kind of building right now. Wants to get a read on, you know, where the game is at, basically. So just trying to figure that out a little bit. Hellions do continue back over the left. Here comes some Marines and a couple of Widowmines moving forward. Now, these Lings will continue to chase into the far right, and the Marines will get underneath an Overlord. So that will already go down. And now our Zerglings will continue out to the left-hand side. They're going to go for a run, and I mean, there's a few Hellions there zapping down, some Lings as well, so just picking away at that already. This Marine's going to get another Overlord here. No, they didn't all stop to attack there on a specific A-click or so, like a move command or so, and okay, that was a little bit weird. Counterattack setting up. Ling's going to go into the natural. Maru had a good defense on the third, but the natural is nothing at all, and oh, it's not even a proper wall in the main for whatever reason. This depot's in a really weird place, so you can't build a barracks there, and this is a disaster. Lings in the main and the natural. Marines on the other side of the map will try and do some damage, but will they be able to do enough to kind of make up for this? I mean, to be fair, so far, these Lings haven't even done that much. One Ling on the ramp is kind of cute. We'll keep information going for you pretty much throughout here. And otherwise, just, I mean, a couple of Lings in the corner. Yeah, just a couple burrows just to be annoying, but not enough Lings to really do much. It's more kind of information gathering than anything else. These few Marines out over here will fight for a little while. The Widowmine's out of position to really get a major connection. We'll only clip a few of the Lings. Oh, that's a better one, but it's still just on the edge. And again, nothing too major just yet here on the Widowmine front. Now, actually, in the end, this run-by didn't do much for Rogue. He lost a lot of army supply while not really killing too many workers, right? Okay, 25 workers down. Sorry, I forget that Game Hot wasn't on, so I'm here thinking, oh, no workers are dying because there's none popping up on the side of the screen, but actually quite a few died, so that's my bad. That's me getting a little bit forgetful about what the situation is with how the game is being hosted. Oh my god, the Widowmines just blew up a medevac full of Marines! Oh, jeez, this has actually just turned into more and more of a disaster, in fact, for Maru, because, yeah. Okay, well, resources lost definitely favoring Maru. He's actually not that far behind on workers either, right? He's, you know, sitting at, what, a pretty comfortable kind of 66 to 69. It's actually pretty reasonable. He's killed 16 drones himself this game, and there's going to be seen our Queens in the top right trying to deny a Widowmine that was already killing a few drones as well. Alright, well, 2-2 upgrades on the way on either side. We're getting Drilling Claws also. This Widow Mine still active, has 8 kills on it. Looks like it will get some more, as maybe Rogue forgot to properly clean it up. Nope, he knows about it. He knows the timing of it. And he pulls the drones away just to make sure before the Overseer is there for the proper clean out. Bane is back down to the bottom left-hand side. Crashing in, that's a lot of Marines in a lot of trouble right away. Widow Mines will blow up on whatever they can. Lings continue to stream into mineral lines. Now Bane's getting up this ramp into the high ground as well. SCVs continue to drop as these Banelings continue through into the main. Multiple Banelings going down. Lings already jumping onto the third base. Widow Mine getting picked off. SCVs taking damage. I mean, in the game, we're going to see a lot of workers killed overall. Now 48, so you basically just killed another 24 workers or so. And Maru's economy continues to take some serious hits throughout here, as the Widow Mine drop moves across the map to hopefully gather some more kills for Maru, as it has been a little bit rough in all honesty. So that goes a few Widow Mines in the medevac. Additional Widow Mines coming through. The +2 armor about to finish up. We'll make this 2-2 against 2-2 for the moment when it comes to the upgrades, as Maru fights for a gold base. Obviously, if you can get this gold base up and running, that will help out a good amount. 2 Widow Mines dropping up here. They drop quickly. They unburrow, they reburrow. 1 Widow Mine here already being cleaned out. And okay, this is actually going to get a decent connection. Somehow it was a split from Rogue. Really nicely done. Nice split, nice defense. Mine over here is chasing drones away, but obviously Rogue is very aware of it. He's got a Spore Crawler, and that means that once the Widow Mine is burrowed, it is still taking damage. It is still visible. As we see our Marines now kiting back away from a few of these Lings. So Lings chasing through, the Hydra's following. Those 2 medevacs are very low as well, so you've got to be really careful about this. As Maru, yeah, definitely, I mean, recovering from the economy losses again. Now only 6-7 workers behind. Has his gold base up. Just a question of how ready is he to fight a lot of these Lings. The Widow Mines there were actually good for Maru as well. That was not a friendly firing set of Widow Mines. He actually takes this fight decently. I mean, just Ling Bane off creep, and yeah, Widow Mine's not doing friendly fire means it's pretty good for Maru. More of these Lings going down. The Changeling gets picked off. I'm just going to be seeing our Siege Tank is going to come up over here to siege and I imagine protect behind the mineral line. Stop Hydras from just sitting here and picking away at these workers, so that's actually going to work quite nicely. That's exactly what you need, and even right now you can see Hydras coming into range. It just isn't worth sitting them around there, as Maru can just pull the SCVs away, and then it's not so great. But now Maru's trying to jump forward. He will get 1 Widow Mine shot off. Nope, got killed as it retargeted a couple of times. Yeah, now Maru's just having to fall back. He will chase for a couple of Banelings in the end. Rogue only 70 drones himself. As much as we talked about Maru's economy issues this game, Rogue has never gone up to like 80 or 90 drones. He's also been kind of held back a little bit, so keeps this game pretty scrappy. That's just going to be seeing our Lingbane Hydra coming back through up to the top side. Just moving forward and, well, tank in a little bit of trouble. I mean, obviously the kiting back and off creep and stuff is doing decently, right? This Bioforce kiting back and keeping in a good position. Hive is going to finish from Rogue in the main. +2 missiles is already on the way up as well. It's just getting that set to go. There's plenty more Banelings continuing to morph on in. They're going to rally forward, and looks like we're going to have a fight. This is going to be off creep though, right? For the most part, like creep initially, but then it runs off creep pretty quick. Widow Mines hit the medevacs a little bit, hit some of the bio. A lot of these mines will need clearing up when you come back, when you fall back as Rogue. It'd be a shame to leave so many of them active, as now we've got Bane Hydra swooping around, going to get behind the gold mineral line, try and deal a little bit more damage. So working our way over here, these few Hydras starting to get a couple of SCVs. Marines move down this ramp. Lings and Hydras, well, they're going to start engaging in once again. Widow Mines lining up. First few are going to go on Banelings, now Hydras. And this is why it would have been nice to clean these Widow Mines out, but just couldn't get an oversee here. Maru taking a supply lead, army supply in his favor. Lurkers are coming up though. Maru's preparation for Lurkers pretty much zero. There's not even siege tanks, right? There's a single tank in the game, so really he has nothing against Lurkers. As he kites back here, the Lurkers are in the upper left, so he's got to kite back into the Lurkers. But that kind of turns into Maru kind of finding those Lurkers and killing them off. Man, his units are such low HP, and his medevacs are out of energy as well, so Maru's got to be careful, because soon he's going to start losing units because he just can't keep them alive. And yeah, that's actually going to be a problem, that he's just been so busy fighting constantly that his units just don't heal up, and he doesn't have the medevac count to heal him up anymore, so there's a problem. This base won't fall. Plenty of transfusions available. Counterattack is going to catch a few Marines as well, so it's a great counter from Rogue. Going to do this while everything else is going on. His Ling's getting a good amount of the Marine Marauder already. I'm just going to see the Lings escaping away to the bottom side. Now more of this army from Maru moving over to the right. Still not fully healed up from last time, though, and again, that's definitely a concern. And I really think the Lurkers are a concern as well. You killed off the first few of them pretty nicely, but they're only going to be getting better. They've got Seismic Spines, Adaptive Talons is on the way. You just can't fight into them right now, so already you're pushed away due to Lurkers, and maybe the time of Maru being able to deal damage in this game is gone. And if that part of this game is past us, then I think Maru's in trouble, because I just don't see what his response to Lurkers is going to be if Rogue can then get aggressive, because Maru can't keep up the pressure. It just feels like everything leads to Maru being in serious trouble right now. Let's see. As just Lings on this bottom side going to go for the wraparound. +3 attack in play for our Terran. But enough of a wraparound as the Banes will finally catch up. And Maru just has to lift up and start falling back. First Widow Mine shot isn't amazing. Hits Medevacs again. Friendly fire is an issue. Pressing forward. A couple Lurkers are burrowed, and they do push a Widow Mine back there. So that Rogue still just has this Ling over here as well, by the way. Just something which, again, maybe tells him about what units are coming out if he ever wants to check that. I'm not sure if it's a major thing, but, you know, it's something for him to think about at some point. It's potential information. I was just checking to see if it was still around from earlier in the game, and yes, it was. I was trying to attack in, man. Widow Mine's going off. I mean, if Rogue is looking at this and keeping an eye on that Ling and saying, oh, we're really not building any siege tanks, so that might just change how he plays. He might know, oh, I can be so aggressive and stuff. This Ling gives him that sort of information as well, where Maru's army is. Just burrowed Lings all around the map, and that's just because Rogue has been pretty controlling and kind of, you know, having some attacks of his own. So that's been very nice. Now he just burrows up, and Maru will have to expend a scan, which apparently right now he doesn't have. He's trying to drop on this side at the same time. 58 SCVs to the 81 drones. Maru's army supply is larger, and that will extend with those Widow Mine kills. Obviously, it still is just a question of dealing with the Lurkers at some stage, and the Lurker count is rising. We're now at 9, higher Lurker count than we've been at before, and that, like I say, is definitely a problem as time passes by. It is something to be really concerned about. We don't even kill the lava there. It morphs into something at the last second. Jeez. On the bottom side, a Nidus is going to start coming up into the main base. Lings are going to get through for some SCVs. If this Nidus is visible, but Maru doesn't do anything about it, that's really bad, because a Nidus and Lurkers on top of your production when you don't have ghosts or anything, it forces you to fight into the Lurkers to clean it up and protect your production. And if you don't have any way to fight Lurkers, well, oh, this is really bad. I mean, Lurkers in your main base are usually bad, but when you don't have any answer Lurkers, then worse than usual, right? And I think that's actually going to be what maybe ends this game, because for my eyes now, Maru's just going to lose everything, and he just can't fight these Lurkers. There's no way. He's going to unload on the Nidus, but I don't even think with the surround you're going to be good. You're going to lose a lot, at least in the process. Again, chase back over here. Again, still a question of how much time do you really have? Well, honestly, he spent too long, because he's already lost all of his production. He's down to only 4 barracks in the game. One of those is on fire. We're going to try and drop on top of this as well as Maru looks to clean this up. But you can see, if nothing else, these Lurkers are taking a good trade. And Maru does just end up GG now while trying to clean this up, because the Lurkers are too much. The position is too good. Yeah, no, absolutely. It was just a situation here of... This was very much so a case of just... You can't deal with the Lurkers. And this was always a problem for Maru. He never had an answer to the Lurkers. He never had a Ghost Academy. It was always just bio mine. He was caught up in that stage of the game. And while he was doing well and keeping up in Workers for a long time, it gets to this point where Lurkers are out, and then the game just changes. The first few you can handle, but he still wasn't transitioning, and eventually you just run out of speed, and you run out of ways to trade. And this happens. Rogue is going to get this first game. Exciting game on Blackburn. Blackburn continuing to deliver great maps of ZVT lately, as Rogue will take the 1-0 lead in this qualifying matchup. Like I said, I just got a couple minutes delay on for ESL Open Cup later, so just wanted to make sure before we continued through. Seemed like the client froze or skipped a frame or two. Ah, okay. Well, sometimes that just happens in StarCraft, honestly, nowadays. Like, even, like, it just happens sometimes. It's a weird one. Alright, I appreciate the answers, guys. Let's dive into Game 2. 2,000 Atmospheres. Both these games on the old maps, only maps that remained from the last map pool. So far, at least. Obviously, if we get to Game 3, he'll be forced onto a new map, because these are the only two maps, Blackburn and 2000 Atmospheres, which remain from the previous map pool. So, a little bit of info there as we dive on in. To the bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg player from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Rogue. Top right, we are going to be having our blue Terran from Team NV. It is Maru. As we kick off into our second game of this best of 3 series, Maru. Honestly, it's kind of weird, because like a lot of the game, actually, I felt like it was Rogue this, Rogue that, but when I sat back, I was like, well, the supplies are very good. But obviously, Maru was never having the freedom to tech up, and I think that's always a major point in TvZ. Being able to actually say, hey, look, I've teched up here, I'm being able to like set up into my ghost for the next stage of the game. Not being able to do any of that was definitely a problem for Maru, and that's one thing that Rogue did very, very well. So that's something which I think is absolutely worth keeping in mind. That's definitely one part of this game that Rogue played very fantastically. As we set up into Game 2 of this best of 3. And, yeah, like I said, qualifying matchups. So Rogue one map away from qualifying. And the second Marine server qualifier. Hey, my sweet Baxter, thank you so much for the 2-year resub. Just so we have a few moments of setting up in this game. Also, Fantasy TYTY Fanboy for the 9-month resub during the last game as well. Thank you for the resubs, guys. Much appreciated as we just get ourselves into our game number 2. And seeing where we're going to go. So drone just going to come out and just settle down. Build a third hatchery and go for the usual here initially. The third hatch coming through, factory on the way up in the main base, and that Overlord is going to skate around the edge of the map and get itself in position to come scout the main base from the back here, so less likely to be Marines covering that area. Although, did these Marines realize that the Overlord's on its way over here? They just saw it, but it's too far gone to deal damage to. But obviously good to know, because then you're not wasting time, and now you know where that Overlord's going to scout from, so that's good info still. We'll see if Maru wants to do anything with these Marines. Sometimes you walk them across the map at kind of weird timings and stuff, and it can go very well. Looks like he's going to start moving forward, but he is moving into Hellions and a starport, and I would really imagine this begins to turn into a Hellbat attack. You've got a good amount of Marines early, you'll keep building them, you can get them into a medevac, and then the Hellions run across the map themselves, you morph into Hellbats, and away we go. Boom, you've got Hellbats, Marines, and it's a pretty sizable attack. It's a pretty good way of trying to deal some early damage, some early pressure, so we'll see what happens. Medevac is building on the starport right now, and this Overlord is just going to come around and scout into the main just slightly, just a little look to see what exactly is going on. But it doesn't go too far just yet. Actually just scout this gas, and I believe that's the second gas taken, so knowing that this gas is here tells him enough already, because he can see how much of that gas has been mined, so he knows it's not the first gas taken of the game, unless it's a very weird build, and he knows that that's the second gas, so it basically tells him what kind of potential this has, as Rogue is going into the Roach Roar, and brilliant setup to deal with the initial Hellbats. Hellions will get here, start moving to Hellbats waddle forward. There's going to be a few moments perhaps where this fight happens without the Roaches to defend, but I think we're very quickly going to start heading into our Roaches to defend here. Like I say, they're already on the production tab, and obviously you kite back, the Hellbats have to waddle a bit. Can't kill an initial Overlord, that will not even lead you to a supply block though, so here we go, Maru pressing forward, and Rogue already just falling back as Hellbats do come in. A few of those Roaches taking damage. Marines will get a Roach from the back. That should have been an A-click. I think you finished this Roach off, but didn't go for it. Losing a lot as the Roaches are here, and Maru just starting to fall back indeed. Has got a Banshee on the way to follow this up, but yeah, this was just a really good shutdown from Rogue. So 2 games in a row, 2 Hellbat attempts. This one just doesn't really do anything for Maru. As we do start to come around this side, and just a few of these lings being picked away at, and at least the run-by doesn't do much apart from give perfect information, tells you exactly when that third CC goes down, so you'd know about that pretty much right away. A few lings getting into this mineral line, and in the end they get chased out of here once more. As here comes this, I mean, this is just a Ling Roach attack right now. Obviously, the Roaches can deal with the Hellbat still, so this is going to be scary. I mean, the Banshee will eventually get you to clean this up. Let's see how much damage Rogue can do. Their SCV's down already at the start of this. Looks like he's just happy to sit on the natural, and, well, I say, deal damage. I mean, he kills off the depots, that's good, but the Lings are not doing anything. They're just fighting an armory. Still nice to get rid of the armory because it does take away the possibility of 2-2 upgrades starting right away, for example, so it is something you have to rebuild, and if the Lings aren't being attacked, they may as well go take that down. So yeah, Rogue didn't want to chase up into the main or anything. He knew that that was probably going to result in trouble. Sticking around means he loses some roaches due to, obviously, just the Banshee, and even this drop perhaps could cut off the roaches a little bit. But I think he's okay with it. He knows killing the depots is effective. It's a big supply block for Maru. Still supply blocked, waiting for the command center to finish in the next few moments. As now these Marines come down over here, and they're going to pick away at this Overlord. That will go down. The Queen's still coming through, chasing the medevac away, as we pull all the way back down to the bottom left-hand corner. We're just going to start working our way through another Overlord, but will not last too long as the Lings show up once again. And now a Spire starts up from Rogue on the natural expansion. Just getting that ready to go. Our Banshees around the bottom side of the map. I mean, obviously this is the nice part about having Banshees. You can now start to use them a little bit more aggressively, perhaps, and maybe make use of them in ways that we hadn't seen before. Mostly so far they've just been defensive. Now they get to attack a little bit. 4 drones so far going down. Looks like this second game again wasn't hosted with Game Hot, guys. Blame the Korean players. They always just host the games without the Game Hot mod. It takes like a second to add, if that, and sometimes they just don't do it. I find it crazy because to me I feel like they should host all their customs with Game Hot because surely it makes it easier for them to watch their replays as well, right? So to me, it should just be automatic, and again, you basically just click a different button and it's already done, so yeah, it surprises me every time people don't host with Game Hop, but alas, such is life. We'll go on as Feelings going down. Upgrade lead in favor of Maru as Rogue is going to head into those mutas. He really likes the mutas on this map against Maru. He's used them multiple times to a lot of success a lot of the time as well. I want to say that, well, was it successful? When was it successful? It was successful. I believe this was the map he won against Maru. Was it in the season finals that he won against Maru on this map with just the mutas and he overwhelmed? I think it might have been. Not 100% sure. He wasn't successful in the first qualifier against Maru with the mutas, though. Maru was able to, deal with them, properly sort them out, and just turn it around and then turn it into a game from there, so I guess we'll see. The Feelings unable to move up just yet. There's a lot of units on our third base. So Maru's advantage absolutely will be the upgrades. We're getting Roach speed as well, so Roach is going to keep on making use of some of his Roaches, although the majority of his play is turned into Ling Bay Muta. Just says, hey, may as well have the Roach speed as this missile turret gets done. SCVs, do you need to turn around and actually repair? A few of these SCVs low HP, they will start to go down, so some effective damage being done. That's at least 5 workers killed, and now that number is increasing. Pretty much the entire mineral line going down at the cost of just a couple mutas. Good damage done initially here from Rogue, who gets the natural. There's no missile turret here, so we'll get a few more SCVs. 25 dead SCVs in the game, and all of a sudden the economy of Rogue is going to be looking incredible against Maru's SCV count, which is going to be gutted just a little bit. Attempting to go up to a 4th base in the front, but that's something you have to protect a little bit as well, just in case you're running around after the mutas everywhere, and then the mutas decide to come around the front and cancel this 4th. Something to keep in mind. Just, again, upgrades Maru's friend, but he did not start 2-2, so he is letting the 1-1 of his opponent catch up. And that's obviously a little bit painful, because any upgrade advantage is generally going to be a decent upgrade advantage here, so a shame for that to be kind of slipping away just slightly. It is still running around on the top side of the map. Ling Roach is going to start to make its way across the map as well, so moving over as the mutas dive in. A few SCVs going down again. Missile turret is there to fight these mutalisks off. They do get pushed back as our Marines are going to come stemming up underneath, and yeah, mutas chased away once more here as Ling Roach gets surrounded, and that is going to get a cancel on the command center. So command center goes down. Bane's over here. Well, actually getting rid of a few more SCVs once more. It's now 42 workers killed in the game. Marines are catching some of the mutas. A Thor coming up as well. That should help in this situation a good amount, as we did have the 4th base cancelled, so it wasn't quite the mutas, but yeah, just a forward 4th base. Not quite in position, so it's not super undefendable, but still is a position you need to defend, and now has to start rebuilding it. So definitely some wins from Rogue, definitely winning out when it comes to applying some good pressure and to kind of put his opponent in some kind of trouble here. It's definitely a continuation as we see the Roach is going to come all the way around the right-hand side. A couple tanks over here. The Thor is set up. That's going to be seen, obviously, Maru attempting again to drilling claws will help these Widow Mines. But all of this has been on Maru's side of the map. It's been, you know, Rogue doing this and Rogue doing that, and Maru has to defend, and Rogue has to just sort of keep up the pressure. And as these few Marines will stem in, Roaches get chased away. So Widow Mine goes down. Thor shots are good. But my point is that Rogue has just got 5 bases, 91 drones, and it just feels like the most comfortable game you could be in as a Zerg right now. You know, you've got everything set up for yourself here. There's really no concerns right away, right? It's just looking very good for you. It is looking very, very good for you as our mutas and our Roaches will continue to make their way around. A chunk of them will start to go out to the right-hand side and make their way up in toward the main base where there's a good amount of Marines lying in wait. So they're just going to make sure that these mutas can't do too much right away. Okay, I mean, the thing is you're still looking for 4th base as Maru as Rogue heads into Hive, his own 2-2, and it definitely feels like Rogue is just taking just a little bit too much of the speed in this game, right? Definitely getting set up into a very good position. Hive still just coming up on this main, and mutas again moving around. Couple of Thor shots come in, hit the mutas, but nothing too major, I suppose. Also, SCVs are going to get back up to this 12 o'clock, and well, it looks like Rogue is now just going to come and commit. Because Widow Mines don't do anything, he blows them all up with the Banelings. The Banelings don't reach too much of the bio, but, well, this mineral line in some trouble. The Grand Army of Rogue pushed back for the moment, but, well, 76 new Zerglings on the way in, and if that's what Rogue wants to do, well, he's got the money to do it, and he's got the unit count to do it, I think, as well. Just the ability to run in, trade, and just rebuild and go again. For Maru, he just has to sit here and kind of take attack after attack, and basically at some stage hope that he can turn around one of these armies more effectively. Rogue doesn't trade well, and maybe then he gets a chance to counter, deny some eco, and eventually just hold out, maybe get to a 5th base eventually as well. A lot of this is kind of in the future and possibilities and ifs and buts, but I mean, that's pretty much what Maru has to cling on to for the moment, because this is Rogue's game to play. It is Maru that has to be the defender, the responder. He does not get to control what happens. He just has to, like I say, hold on as best he can, do what he can to try and make this possible. The Ling Bane going to run in on this side again. The initial Widow Mine shot's not too crazy. SCVs are going to go down here. The entire mineral line is gutted. There is a single Widow Mine shot remaining, and that goes off to the left-hand side as these Banes will just continue through. More Marines. They're going to get this mineral line, perhaps. Okay, only a couple more SCVs, but the damage done is serious. 83 SCVs now dead in the game. The mutas are still harassing over here, keeping some of the Marines out of position as well. Rogue expanding top left. Bottom side base is up and running too. But the Widow Mine hits a Roach. I mean, it's kind of like a whatever moment, right? As Maru still has decent army supply. It's just, again, what happens beyond that army supply? What comes up after this? Yeah, that's definitely the big question mark and the big uh-oh kind of moment in my eyes, as Lings are going to try and run through again. A few on the right side, a few on the left side coming around for a lot of these forces. Just Lings, though, I mean, not the best. +3 attack about to be done from Maru. So he will have an upgrade lead there as well. Obviously, Ultras are on the way, and they're really, in this sort of situation, a real cool unit to have as well. It's an easy transition off the Ling Bane meter to go into these, Ultras. They have the same upgrades as the Ling Bane, etc. You don't have to hard switch Hydras and Lurkadan. It keeps the game moving along as well. So if you want to just keep running units at your opponent, the Ultras are a great leading unit as well. It just kind of fits the style that Rogue is currently playing. This first Ultra goes down, didn't have Chitinous playing or the upgrades that are meant to make it good. Maru's going to lose the 4th base. Muna's on the 3rd base. SCVs are being blown up everywhere. We must have passed 100 SCVs killed right now. Boom, 100 SCVs are dead in this game. I mean, it's just too much. Maru's just going to GG. Is that exactly 100 worker kills? 101 SCVs go down. Yeah, a 15-minute game where you kill 101 SCVs is kind of self-explanatory, right? So, yeah, not much else to add on to that one. GG's, and Rogue gets the 2-0 qualifying for the NetEase eSport X Tournament 2021 Winter. Poor puppy next to me is having a bad dream. She's yelping a little bit if you heard her. I think she heard 101 dead SCV. She's like, no! Whoop, whoop. She's trying to save the day in her dream. But yeah, Rogue, Just too swarmy, infesting puppies, dreams, and all. And takes this 2-0. Convincing 2-0 from Rogue this time. Just got control of these games.